Overnight, they were called to the 1500 block of 44th Street South around 9:30. It was last night.
That's the neighborhood just east of the 45th Street Shields. Crews snuffed a small fire in or near the dumpster there. No word yet on damages or the cause of that fire. Also new this morning, a 12-year-old Minnesota boy dead after a snowmobile crash in Wabasha County. That's just northeast of Rochester.
The sheriff's office says the child was operating a snowmobile on private property yesterday afternoon. When he hit a tree, he died at the scene. An Otter County man now dead after falling through the ice over the weekend. It happened Saturday night on Otter Lake.
The sheriff's office says 2 snowmobiles and an ATV crashed through the thin ice. 2 people made it out, but rescuers pulled a 64-year-old man from the water. He later died at the hospital. The Otter Sheriff's Office has not released the victim's name. Well, here is a scary story. A Minnesota pastor partially paralyzed after a slip on the ice turned into a life-changing injury. 64-year-old David Kent of Golden Valley says he fell on his tailbone in front of his church last month.
He says he immediately had no feeling in his hands or legs. He says he knew he was paralyzed. At first, he says he couldn't move his arms, legs, hands, or feet, but is now regaining some movement in his arms after weeks of physical therapy. And what happened to him may be more common than you'd think. The CDC says 1 million Americans are injured every year falling on ice or snow, and about 17,000 of those falls turn deadly.
Area hospitals are seeing it this season, a spike in slips and falls, with injuries ranging from minor to severe. Doctors say prevention is key. People walking on ice and snow should take smaller, slower steps, often referred to as walking like a penguin. Other ideas to stay safe, maybe use traction cleats or yak tracks. And if you use a cane, make sure it has a cane spike for support. And if you do fall, try aiming maybe for a snowbank or something with a softer landing.
Time now for a look at our storm team forecast with meteorologist Lisa Green. Good morning.
Good morning. It is a little frosty out there this morning on those sidewalks and streets, so please be careful out there. In addition to, of course, the snow and ice that's already been in place for some time now from our recent weather. Looking outside right now, though, visibility is going to be a bit of a problem here. We've got the fog in the FM Metro affecting our view. We're at 4 degrees in Fargo. It's 2 in Grand Forks. Thief River Falls at 7, 0 in Bemidji, and 7 as well in Detroit Lakes. Devil's Lake at 6 degrees. This is typical for a January morning, but still, you'll want to bundle up, especially if there's a little bit of wind. It'll make it feel like it's below 0. The real issue for us today is the fog. We're down to a quarter-mile visibility in Fargo. Gwinner at that same number. Valley City still at 0, so one of those areas where visibility is very low. Wadena at a quarter mile, so we're having some trouble to the east as well. Northern Valley hasn't been as widespread, but there are still some pockets where we're struggling a bit, and that's definitely the case in Cavalier, where visibility is down to 0 right now. So a foggy start yet again. We've otherwise got some quiet weather, a few clouds out to the west that will continue to move in. So we'll see if you're not dealing with the fog, eventually the overhead clouds with the potential for a few of those flakes that we're seeing in the western Dakotas to move into our area. More likely just some flurry activity by the afternoon and evening. So out at the bus stop this morning, again, watch out for those bus riders, those kids out at the bus stop with that fog in place. We're looking at temperatures in the single digits this afternoon. We have better visibility, temperatures back into some upper teens to some low 20s for highs today. And there may be a little fog to start off your Tuesday morning as well. We're looking at, again, chances for snow midweek. We'll be tracking that for you heading into the week. And then by the weekend, temperatures back into the upper teens and some 20s, looking pretty quiet at this point in time.
Watch out for that fog. Definitely something out there as we're driving around.
That's for sure. And especially in the FM Metro right now, we've been experiencing some of that dense fog. That hasn't really gone anywhere. So I think it's going to stick around for a while.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. 6:53 right now. Firefighters say it takes them roughly 5 to 10 extra minutes to shovel out snow-buried hydrants. They're now asking people or business owners to lend a helping hand.
The Valley Today's Nashay Taylor is doing just that this morning. She joins us live with the importance for residents to help out. Hey there, Nashay. Good morning.
Good morning, Jordan and Ashlyn. That's right. You know, I'm right here in West Fargo, where there are about 2,000 fire hydrants across the city. Now, just across the way in Fargo, there's about 7,500 also. But, you know, firefighters say they need about 3 feet of snow cleared from around the hydrant. I'll kind of demonstrate here. This is a little hard, so I can only do so much, but just imagine firefighters having to do that themselves. They say not being able to reach a hydrant strips them of some crucial time.
Fires spread very quick, especially with how houses are built nowadays. If you have a hydrant near your home, we would like for you to clear it. There's no fine if you don't, but what it does is it saves the fire department time when they get to a fire.
Well, they're also asking business owners to lend a hand as well. If you have a hydrant on your property, they ask that you dig those out too. Reporting live in West Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live. All
right, an important reminder. Thank you for that this morning, Nishay.
Now, a reminder, you can also adopt a fire hydrant. Just go to the website, valleynewslive.com. We have information there from the West Fargo Fire Department.
An autopsy underway on the body of a man found dead in Grand Forks. Police found the body yesterday morning in the parking lot in front of Red River High School. They say there's no obvious sign of foul play, though.
Drilling operations are temporarily suspended at a North Dakota oil rig after a worker fell into a pit and died. Officials say 42-year-old Daniel Navarrete fell through an open hatch to a pit at the Nabbers Industry rig near Newtown in MOUNTRAIL County. Co-workers tried to rescue him and even drained that pit, but he died at the scene. Pits are often used to collect spent drilling fluids and other materials. The Norman County Chief Deputy holding a news conference later today related to the death of Sheriff Jeremy Thornton, who passed away last week. Thornton died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 53.
Memorial services are set for this week. Visitation is tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. at Zion Lutheran Church in Twin Valley. His funeral is Wednesday at 3 at the Ada Public School. People in Horace now rallying around a woman who's recovering from a heart attack.
Tracy Johnson hasn't been able to return to work yet because of the heart attack. Friends organized a benefit through the Lend a Hand Up at the Horace Community Center.
So much support from family and friends and people we don't even know that have come out here and gave us donations and supported us.
For more information on Johnson's Lend a Hand Up, just head on over to valleynewslive.com and click through this story.
It's a first for Minnesota. An Air National Guardsman became the first Air Guard flight nurse in the country to receive a Distinguished Flying Cross Medal. Major Kate Lunning was among the first members of a critical care air transport team to arrive at the Kabul airport after a suicide bomber caused massive casualties in 2021.
It happened during the pullout of American forces in Afghanistan. Under constant fire, she led her team to evacuate 22 multinational and joint service wounded members and kept them alive during the 8-hour flight to a medical facility.
I was very surprised and just honored to represent nursing. Know that there's been so many nurses that have done amazing things, and just really honored to represent the Minnesota National Guard.
The operation was the single largest aeromedical evaluation airlift in Kabul Coalition hospital history. It was an unfamiliar sight in Frisco, Texas. For the first time ever, the Bison coming back to Fargo without that championship trophy. South Dakota State defeated NDSU 45-21 at Toyota Stadium, getting off to an early lead in the first quarter and then never really looking back.
So instead of rushing the field for the 10th time, Bison fans rushed out the gates back to their cars. A tough loss that one fan says they hope to never have to experience again.
I'd say Dakota pride, win or lose, love the Bison.
Well, the team, they had a great year. Our team had a great year, both teams did, and the fans, I thought it was a great game for the fans.
Awesome being here, but it's about time, you know.
Losing definitely isn't something the Bison are used to. However, fans say it was a good season and they will be back, of course.
A Moorhead business owner still shaking her head after a deer busted through her glass door and left a hole in her shop's wall. Melissa Evans is the owner of She Said Butcher Shop and says she was in the back working on Saturday with her daughter when they heard a commotion.
Now, at first she thought that maybe a pot fell over or that the building was even hit by a car, so she was surprised when she looked around her shop and then noticed a deer running around.
When I came around the corner, the deer was the last thing I would have ever imagined. It was chaos, to say the least, and just complete pandemonium. My kid was screaming, "Why is there a deer in here? Why is there a deer in here?"
Evan says it took hours to clean up the glass shards. Now the next step is to get the door fixed and prepare for customers as well. I'm sure that deer wondering what the heck was going on that day as well.
Deer.
Yeah,
Goodness
for real.
gracious.
Matt Bus is extending hours of service starting today. Hours of operation will now go until 10:15 p.m.
There are also additional route changes kicking off today, including an increase in frequency on routes 13 and 15 and efficiency improvements to routes 15, 18, and 20. The details on those changes and timetables all available. Just head on over to mattbus.com. 4 bald eagles are back in the wild in Wisconsin after being treated by our raptor education group.
The nonprofit released 2 adults and 2 juvenile bald eagles along the shore of the Wisconsin River in Sauk City. Now 3 of the 4 birds were being treated for lead poisoning. One of the adult eagles had been in rehabilitation since April.
All right, ain't that America? Back in the free.
Let freedom ring. All right. Thanks for joining us here this morning on the Valley Today.
Take care, everybody.